Hello everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk and I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based here in the United Kingdom, in the middle of the United Kingdom in Warwickshire, not far from Stratford-on-Avon, which is Shakespeare's birthplace. So today I am making this little box here. So it doesn't look desperately exciting to start off with, but it is using the fabulous Snowman season, Stamp and Punch. But the fun comes when you stand it up and you pull on the front here and you've got a little sweetie dispenser. Now I filled this with little mini licorice all sorts. There are several designs out there for this. This is the version I've come up with, and the reason I've come up with this one is because several of the versions that I saw actually had a separate lid, and I wanted to create one that didn't have a separate lid, that actually just opened up, but also it was quite economical to use with the paper. So the drawer is actually made out of a separate piece, so there's not too much wastage on there. Now you could fill this with jelly beans or other little midget gems and things like that, which I've got to fill my other one. And in terms of colours, you could do it whatever colour you want. But I'm going to actually do a version using my a combination which I've used quite a lot, which is my Floaty Flamingo and Coastal Cabana combination. And we'll see where we go with that. So that's our project, little sweetie dispenser. The basic box comes out of half a sheet of A4 with another piece for the base. So out of one sheet of A4 cardstock you can make the box, and then just some scraps of contrasting colour and Whisper White to do all the others, with little bits for the arms if you want as well. So away we go. To start off with then, you're going to need your sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to be using, as I said, Coastal Cabana for the base, and I want a piece that is 21 by 14 centimetres. So I'll put the dimensions in inches for you. So this is already 21 because that's the width of A4, and I'm going to trim that down to 14 centimetres. Okay, like so. I then am going to need a separate piece which is 8 by 11 centimetres. I forgot what my measurements were for the moment there. And this one is, I'm going to say, 8 by 11 centimetres. Okay, so that's my piece for my drawer, and then I'm going to cut myself some layers to go on the sides there. So you're going to need 3 pieces for the panels, which are 4.5 by 6.5. So I'm going to cut this to 4.5. I should have cut it the other way. 6.5, 6.5, and then I want another one, so I'll cut this to 6.5 as well, and let's trim it down to 4.5. So again, using my little offcuts I've got from doing other projects here. So I want 3 of those. I then want 2 pieces which are 4.5 by 4.5. So let's trim this piece down to 4.5 by 4.5. So those are for the top of the box, and for this piece here, which goes in like so, you see. And then I want a piece for the very front, which is 2.5 by 4.5. So I'll just see if I've got any of these, which are, yeah, that looks like that is, yeah, 2.5 by 4.5. And then I want my Whisper White. So again, I'm doing all of my cutting up front. So with my Whisper White, I'm going to want 3 pieces which are 4 by 6. So if I trim that to 6, and 3 pieces which are 4 by 6. still getting used to my new trimmer, but I have to say it is fabulous. Cuts beautifully. Oh, and has lots of places where your card can butt up so it doesn't move. So my 3 pieces that are 4x6. I want 2 pieces that are 4x4. So, yeah. So I'm just cutting that to 8. So just to convenience. So trim it down to 4, and then trim it down to 4. 2 pieces 4x4, which are layered onto those. These ones are layering onto each of these panels. So you can see I've just got one left to do there, which is going to be 2 centimetres by 4. Just check, yeah, 2x4. And then any of these for bigger scraps I shall keep, because I want to do obviously a little bit of stamping and punching as well. So that's my layer for there. So I find if I am organised, but by popping those all to one side like that, it helps keep me organised as to what I'm doing, providing I don't lose them, of course. So in terms of the box construction then, we need to use our scoring blade. And I'm going to take my piece, which is 21x14, see here, and I'm going to score on the long at 5. So it's every 5 centimetres. So 5, 10, 15 and 20, and that's going to give me my little joining tab. Turn it with the top, and you're going to score at 1 centimetre. So I'm going to score at 1 centimetre actually on both edges. So, but I'm going to score at 1, and then at 6, and then at we've already done the one at 13, so that's that one there. Okay, so 1 inch, then it's at 6 centimetres with that short section at the top. Now with it still in this orientation, so short section at the top, we are going to cut at 3 centimetres on the right hand side. So it's our 3 centimetres here in the third big section. So we've got 1, 2, this is our third section, and you're going to score a cut across that section on the score line, and you've got a little mark so you can see where you're cutting. So just cutting there. Okay, so put that to one side, and with the tray part I'm going to just score at 3 centimetres on 3 of the sides. And then I'm going to score that little square section that we've just created diagonally, which is by lining up those 2 score lines in the track, and then pop that to one side. So a bit of trimming required now. So if I do the tray first, you're going to cut up this section and you're going to make a T. So cut up and across, like so. Then just fold and burnish these scores really well. Like so. And you're going to now glue these 2 tabs down. So this is the side of the drawer, and you're just gluing that down in place, and that's going to reinforce that side, and also because it's a little bit stiffer, it's going to help keep it in place. Now if you've got any bits that are sticking out, then don't worry about it, you can just trim those if you want to. So this is going to be our drawer that we're going to have. Then we're going to do the same. We're not going to do the same. We're going to trim our box base. So fold and burnish our score lines. And then there's just a little bit of trimming to do on these. Okay, so this is the top and this is the bottom front. So you're going to come up where you've cut up to that cut line. Don't do what I've done and make a mess of it. Up to that cut line and just about a centimetre beyond it as well. Now if you want to be precise and measure it, you can, but that's just for your little tabs as well. So you can just literally just a hair's breadth out of that. Okay, then these bottom ones you're going to just mitre the corners. That means cutting the corners off, and that's because those are going to be folding in to attach your tray. And just cut the corner off on a diagonal like so here. And then at the top, this is where we're going to do slightly more trimming. So you're going to cut this section away completely. Okay. And that's going to be our lid. So you want to cut straight down that score line, which I didn't cut that very straight at all. You can then corner round the tab like so. The next section is going to be a half tab, so cut straight down and then just cut across. Again, you can measure that if you want to, entirely up to you. I tend not to. I just sort of eyeball it. There we go. But obviously you'll be cutting that at about 2.5 centimetres. And then this section here between those, so that's what you've got so far. You're going to get rid of this section here. So I find the easiest way is actually to fold our tabs and then cut across. Okay, so that is what you're going to end up with. This is the front for the drawer, this is the lid, and these are the sides. We're now going to pop our panels on. The sides there. That's for stamping. Second panel for stamping, and a third panel. Add on your layers for the top, and I've kept the stamping really quite simple. Now you could use designer series paper if you wanted to. You could finish this in any way that you like. So I'm going to keep it really, really simple. Use the same stamps all the way around. And so I'm going to use my snowflake and my other one, sort of like snowfall. And I'm going to come in and just on those. So you can see, you just get a really pretty effect. So it just looks like snow. And now, as I say, if you're doing lots of these, you might prefer to use paper. You don't necessarily need to then add the layers if you're layering the paper. I'm just using the that's going to be for my lid. Actually, what I was going to do is I was going to change it slightly. I was going to pop my snowfall, whoa, on that centre panel, and then snowflakes on the base. Right. And that's all that's left is our construction. So, add your paper or your stamp image onto those panels. And then we're going to do some stamping and punching of our snowman and some part cutting as well. This is to go at the front of the drawer, like so. And then I'm going to come in. Now that I've done that, I'm going to come in and fold my box up, and I'm just going to use some, I would recommend you use red tape for this, but I'm just using my fuse for speed. And what you're going to do is add some glue round the three sides of your base. And the way I find it easiest is to attach to the middle back section, like so. Fold these in and just line those up. And then pop your bone folder in to burnish. And these tabs then just fit into those slots and close up. And then you just need to trim those tabs at the top if you want. So all that's left is to create our snow people. So I'm going to stamp my snowman very quickly in memento there, and memento there. Come in with the punch. And obviously use a post-it note if to help you line that up if you want. There you go. I probably should have done. I've left it slightly longer on this one, which makes life easier. Here we go. And then what you want to do is you want to cut out your top section from one and your bottom two sections from the other. Add your glue and pop that in like so. Then add your glue and just line that up behind. And then all you need to do is just add those extra little elements using your scraps. Fill up with your treats, and there you have a fun treat holder that you can fill and have on your Christmas table as a little sweetie dispenser. Yeah. Or as mine are, they're for my craft day that I've got coming up. So there we go. Stamping's a bit wonky. I'm a bit wonky on my layers on that. That's what happens when you work at speed. But there's your box. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. Don't forget to pop along to my shop, heidismith.stampinup.net, or follow the links on my blog. Details of the blog at the top there. Bye now.